Welcome to Living Your Path. I am Cecile Ferry, a coach and astrologer. I'm here to guide you on how to live and work in alignment with your true self so you can find fulfillment and serenity. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to your cosmic catch-up for week commencing the 12th of January. Apologize, this is released on the 13th, but you haven't missed out on anything. It is a pretty quiet start to the week, and I couldn't get to that episode any sooner. But here we go. So I'm just going to say it that way. Enjoy this week, because I feel like it's the last kind of quote-unquote quietish week, astrologically speaking, before things ramp up. And they really start next week with Aquarius season, where a lot of the planets will meet with Pluto. Pluto is a pretty strong planet, so we're going to feel the intensity of that. And then we get into February and the eclipse starts and planets moving into Aries and all of that. So if you have not listened to my astrology episode for 2026, which was the last one, I highly recommend you listen to it this week, so you are prepared and you know what's coming. And heads up, it is a positive story, so I highly encourage you to check it out. And I also cover in that episode 3 ways you can work with me to get this information personalized to you in order to really plan and prepare for your year and know what's coming at you for you this year and how to position yourself to make the most of those energies. You can check out those 3 options. They are in the show notes. You can basically book a birth chart reading and transit reading together with me. That is the most comprehensive and powerful, really, solution for you. Or if you already had a birth chart reading, you can do just a transit reading with me. Or you can get a written report if you just want some simple information to start with at home. And that will be personalized to your date of birth. So check those out in the show notes. And I'm going to get into this week. So we open the week still with this, what I call stellium group of planets in Capricorn. There's tons of Capricorn energy right now. And I don't know if you are feeling it. I definitely have, because also I'm a Capricorn sun. So it's an energy of quite seriousness, I will say. This isn't an energy of fun and partying and being social. It's being organized, it's being thoughtful, thinking about structures, and maybe also being quite disciplined, being quite mature, but getting stuff done, getting things in order. And as I said before, it's a great time to plan and to think long-term goals, and in a very practical way. It's like you project managing, if you know what I'm talking about. Because right now we have Mercury, Mars, Sun, and Venus in Capricorn. That is a lot of Capricorn energy. So let's make the most of it and really harness this kind of, good student kind of energy, I want to say, but not in a bad, good girl kind of way, but just applying ourselves and looking forward to the future and picking long-term goals that are worthy of our attention and energy. This is about how do we want to invest our time and energy right now and into the future. More on that in a minute. So what I like, it's a time where there is not too many distractions, and it's quite simple and clear, but we have to kind of sit down and think about it and do it. So that energy will be carrying on all week. And then we have a new moon right at the end of the weekend. And next week on Monday, we move into Aquarius season. So I also wanted to remind you there is still that aspect I've mentioned last week that continues building up, which is a positive alignment between Saturn and Uranus, which is really nice at the start of the year, because Saturn is about structure and Uranus is about change and breaking free. So it's kind of saying, here's the spark to ignite some change, and then Saturn is helping us planning, putting the structure for it. So we are encouraged to really kind of move forward and not just keeping this year again as the same status quo. On Saturday, the 17th, Venus, which is the planet the most ahead, if you like, in that planet lineup, is going to move into Aquarius. So that means that we are going to benefit from an energy of freedom, authenticity, change potentially, and originality, I will say, in the area of our love life and finances. So we're going to be feeling a bit different about it and looking at things differently with a fresh outlook, being quite open-minded and maybe looking at things in a very different way, maybe that we've always done it or how other people do it. So if you get some ideas of how to do things on the financial level or in your love life that sound a little bit out of the box, this is perfect. Don't discard them and actually honor them. And same with that, even your own beauty. Like if it's a really good time to try a new style, to try a new haircut. And all I want to say is when you go through that energy of Venus in Aquarius, which we will have for a month, is don't worry about what other people are going to think. You do you, in your love relationship, in terms of your beauty routine and style and outfits and your finances as well. So it's this energy of kind of breaking free from the way we've always done it, which I think is quite nice. And it's a time to celebrate your own beauty, your uniqueness. And also in your relationship, like don't shy away from being yourself and having those conversations and really stepping into your own authenticity. So that's a really nice energy. And now I'm going to move into the new moon in Capricorn, which takes place across Sunday for part of the world. So New York, it will be Sunday at 2:52 p.m. in the afternoon. In the UK, it will be in the evening at 7:52 p.m. And in Australia, it will happen in the early hours of Monday, the 19th at 6:52 a.m. So I wanted to cover it this week as opposed to next Monday, which is slightly after the fact, so that you can prepare. You may want to go back to just this section of the episode for the weekend. So that moon is happening at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So right at the end of it. And it's our first new moon for 2026. And I'm going to say it and call it up front. It's a very positive moon. There's like no bad things around, only really positive alignments. So definitely one to pay attention to and to do what I'm going to tell you to do, because it's a very auspicious time, I find, in the sky. So at 28 degrees of Capricorn, we have the sun and the moon together, and they are conjunct really closely to Mercury and Mars. So Mercury will give us clarity of thoughts, which is great. Mars will give us the drive, the energy, the passion, connecting to what really motivates us. And that is super powerful because the new moon is about new beginnings and setting new intentions. So when you clear in your mind and when you feel connected to your desires and fueled by your passions, like those intentions really emerge. So see how those energies really converge to help you. And basically, this is the new moon to set your goals for 2026. I cannot be more explicit than that. You've probably already started the process, and that's okay. You can just reaffirm or change it. But this is the time to set long-term goals because we are in Capricorn. It's the energy of that, seriousness, commitment. And you are saying yes to certain things. And you kind of really write them down, say them aloud, really record them somewhere, and make them like a statement. And get really clear. So no wishy-washy, no maybe, no vague things. Call it, be practical because of the energy of Capricorn, but make them strong intentions, like you commit to it and you feel it in yourself. If you shoot yourself into those intentions, if you make them just for the sake of it, it's not going to work. You need to resonate in terms of the why behind them. You need to really want them and commit to them and not be afraid if there is hard work associated with them and maybe some failure potentially. That is the sign they are the right ones for you. but really spend some time on the weekend to list those intentions for the year. In particular, you could look at those in a professional context, in a career context, because Capricorn is very much the energy of career, but it doesn't have to be exclusively. It also depends where 28 degrees of Capricorn is in your birth chart. For instance, for me, it's in my second house. So I will be thinking about my intentions in terms of income for 2026 and in terms of self-worth and self-confidence, because that is the house that is involved. You know, if it's fourth house for you, you may set a clear intention to buy property this year and be really specific about what you want to manifest. Also, on the other side of it, so we'll have Venus just moved into Aquarius, and as it does, it merges in conjunction with Pluto that has been there for some time. That's very strong, and in the area of our love life and finances, we're going to feel a lot of transformative energy. So this new moon as well has a flavor of relationships because of that. Like, this is also the opportunity to set a strong intention to transform your relationships, your love life, or your relationship with your finances and what's happening with your money. Finally, there are two more harmonious alignment. We have a sextile between the new moon and Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, which means that we'll be supported to think about structure for our goals and also our ability to dream. So dream big, my friend, over the weekend. Really think wide and large for those goals. Imagine, visualize, and be really creative, because you've got that supportive energy from Neptune. And then all those planets in Capricorn will be in a trine with Uranus. So Uranus will be supportive of this long-term planning and intention, and showering those planets with a sense of freedom, liberation, authenticity as well. So be a little bit bold and dare. You know, don't be worried if you feel like this is breaking the mold a little bit, or this may be a little unconventional. As long as it feels freeing for you and it feels really connected with your inner desire, you are on the right track. So that is the picture for the new moon. Very, very positive. Really set some time aside and some questions for you to think about. Where do you want to invest your energy this year? Your energy, your resources, your time. You know, it's kind of like choose your mountain. What is it going to be? What are you going to build long term that will yield dividends for you, that's aligned with your values and your desire? And what are your plans in line with your desires? Like, start breaking them down into what do you need to do? What skills do you need to do? Because Capricorn energy is perfect for that. It helps you resource, and you know, like a project manager would be like, okay, that's the goal. How do I get there? So really leverage that, because later, like next month and later, we have a Mercury retrograde. Like, things are not going to be as clear and as supportive in terms of the planning process. And I highly recommend you do some form of visualization, like listen to a guided meditation on your future self, future vision, so that you access those deeper desires in you. And then when you finish, like, journal and write down those key things that you saw, your goals, and make them really tangible and concrete. And then you're done, and they should feel really good. And they're your roadmap, your guiding post for the year. Yeah, you can tweak them and you can change them, but this is the time to do it, because then we're going to get into Aquarius. Pluto is going to really kind of push us in terms of what needs to be transformed. And then we move into eclipse season, like things are really going to hit up and accelerate. So now is the time, as we're all still cool and collected, I hope, to do this exercise. So a very, very good new moon. First one to kick off the year, and it's a very nice one, I will say. We can all be grateful for that energy. So that's it for this week, everybody. Have a great last stretch of Capricorn season. Happy planning. Happy thinking ahead and take care of yourself. I will speak with you next week. Bye, everyone.